medically cleared to return from his quad injury, but according to ESPN, he has opted not to return to the lineup. Kawhi has only played 9 games this season, but the Spurs are still a 3rd seed in the West. Yesterday, Greg Popovich talked about Kawhi's status. Let's take a listen.
We only have X number of games left in the season, and he's still not ready to go. And, you know, if by some chance he is, it's going to be pretty late into the season, and it's going to be a tough decision. You know, how late you bring somebody back. So that's why I'm just trying to be honest and logical. I'll be surprised if he gets back this year.
We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Eddie House. Welcome back, Eddie.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's going on here?
I think I read Adrian Wojnarowski's article, and he said that he's been medically cleared with right quad tendinopathy. So I'm not a doctor, so I never heard. I'm like, let me look that up, and it says it's a disease of the tendon. And so if that's the case, and Kawhi is sitting out, the only explanation that I could come up with is the team doctor steered him wrong. And that's why you go get a second opinion. If you don't trust your team doctor, then you go seek second and third opinions because you don't agree with what they said. If that's the case, they cleared him before. He came back and got injured again, re-hurt. So that, to me, signals that the team doctor cleared him. It re-injured. He figured out what it really is, went on his own to find out, and he just shut it down. And basically, I could understand that because he's a player who was going to be the pillar of your franchise, the future of your franchise for the next 10 years. And he felt, to me, from what I'm gathering, my information limited, from me, what I'm seeing is that he doesn't trust the organization. So he just say, man, I'm going to sit on down. Better to come back when I'm full, healthy, or go somewhere else and move on than come back again and tear it up even more.
And maybe when they cleared him to play, he's like, no, I'm not good to go. They cleared him. He tried it, and it got worse than what it was in the beginning, Kim. Something like I said, because it's hard for me to believe that Kawhi Leonard, as great as he is, will just sit out and there's nothing wrong with him physically. And I get it, sometimes mentally you have to get over that roadblock, Skip, of being injured and getting back, tear an ACL or an Achilles injury, whatever the case may be. There's a period you're like, am I going to be that same guy? Am I going to still be able to do the things that I did before I got injured? I get all that. But I don't believe Kawhi Leonard is just sitting down like, ain't nothing wrong, man. I'm just going to sit this one on out. That doesn't strike me as a guy. But what it does strike me as, this is not going to end well. He has a very implosive personality, which means he doesn't say anything and he just lets it build. Skip.
That's true. I would agree with that. He internalizes everything until it blows inside him.
And when it blows.
And it just blew.
Yep.
And Coach Popovich just blew. And I'm going to say it again. No story I have ever encountered in my lengthy career has torn me up the way this one has, because I don't know what he's feeling in his quadriceps tendon. Mm-hmm. There's a tendon that attaches at the knee that is somehow troubling him, he says. And externally, when he goes for the second opinion from doctor and trainer, they say, yeah, you have some issue in there, but no structural damage. There's nothing wrong with the knee or the hip. So no bone issues, no joint issues, just something in that tendon that continues to irritate to the point that he played a game and then he would wake up the next morning and it would be sore again. And his biggest break with the Spurs was not over their medical evaluation. It was over the rehab program that they set up for him. He didn't like it. And he said, the more I try to do what you tell me to do to make it better, the worse it gets. So he split with the Spurs over that. So now, after I talked to, I've told you, I've talked to people in both camps, in Kawhi's camp and in the Spurs camp. And now it's time for me to pick a side. And I'm going to pick the Spurs side in this one. And again, I don't know what he's feeling, but I'm going to have to lean toward what I consider the best organization in sports and the #1 organization for conservative treatment of injury. No organization in sports, even beyond what New England does in the NFL, will give a player a longer leash with an injury, more patience. The way they've treated Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Ginobili, Parker over the years, they again, they have a restriction of nobody's going to play more than 30 minutes a night. And if you have the littlest injury, you're out for whatever you need. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you need. Let's get you right for the money games when the playoffs start.
Right.
So they have gone way overboard for Kawhi all year long to get him right. Remember, he came back at one point and then he said he had a shoulder issue. Remember this?
Right.
And they were like, what? Now he's got a shoulder. But you said you had one coming up. You were running on the treadmill. So maybe he did. But at some point, when you're making $19 million and you are the player of the franchise, you are the face of this new Spurs franchise.
Absolutely.
In the wake of Tim Duncan, and you are making $19 million and you have played 9 games, that's $2.1 million per game. Yeah, the owner and the GM are sitting back saying, what's going on? Because in the end, they have to trust their medical staff and their training staff who's saying, we clear him to play. So I'm going to bank on them. I'm going to bet on the Spurs that they're righter than Kawhi is. Does he have something that's irritating and troubling him? I guess so. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a high character kid. He works hard. He practices hard. He gets up extra shots. He does all the little stuff. I get all that. But in the end, this is just too weird. And so when Coach Popovich yesterday, he basically set the bridge on fire. He threw up his hands and said, you know what? Hell with him. We got to go on now.
You think he wants out? You think he wants to go somewhere to a bigger market, and this is a way of forcing his
It's
way out?
starting to feel like that. He has one more year left on his contract after this one. But is he trying to force a trade? It smells like that to me. And again, his advisor now is his uncle. He doesn't have an agent. His uncle runs the show for him.
It's tough to kind of gauge that, excuse me, because he doesn't say much.
Right.
You know, doesn't show a lot of
Agreed.
emotion. So it's hard to judge where he's coming from. We know Pop, and Pop has subliminal messages, and we could tell when Pop is upset or when he's just trying to mess with the media and things like that. But with Kawhi, as a player, yeah, he's getting paid $19 million. And if I'm the owner, let's get that right first, because this training staff could come and go. But that $19 million, that guy right there is rare. So we need to keep him, do whatever we can.
Rare.
So we have to listen to him. And as players, you have to listen to your body as well. You can't come back just because they're trying to say, oh, you all right now. You good. Man, no, I'm not. There's still something right here bothering me. So I'm a side with Kawhi on that reason, for that reason, because he doesn't strike me as a guy that's selfish. You know, and all the coaches staff, everybody, even the whole organization, a selfless guy. He's all about the team. Now all of a sudden, how is a guy that you saying selfless and all about the team, all of a sudden all about himself? I just don't see somebody that's able to flip-flop like that. And so for me, I think something's wrong with him, and he understands his body more than we do and that medical staff. So Kawhi, just keep listening to his body.
But put yourself in the owner's seat right now.
Yeah.
At what point do you say timeout? Is he really that hurt? Is he, like you say, you're siding with Kawhi right now, but at what point do you say timeout?
After thinking about it 19 million times?
No.
After thinking about it 19 million times, like, I'm not going to let him go out there. And if he does want to force a trade, right, if he's not healthy, we don't listen to him, and we think that he want to force a trade. He goes out there, get hurt. Now what can you get for him? You can't get anything for him. So let him get healthy. He has one more year on his contract. If he's disgruntled like that, you'll be able to get the max for him. Whatever the max will be, whatever that bar is, you'll be able to get that for him.
You mean in trade?
Yeah, in trade next year.
Well, you never go get equal value for a guy like that.
I don't think so either.
Not Boogie. Like when you trade a superstar, you're not going to get equal value because the teams know that you need to move him, and so everybody lowball.
I didn't say you're going to get the best deal.
Oh, you take
That's
the
what
best
I'm
deal.
saying.
But the thing is, Skip, okay, let's say he wants to go to a bigger market. For what? He doesn't have the personality. He's not charismatic enough to move product.
I agree. And what player doesn't want to play for Greg Popovich? I mean, does LeBron not want to? Wouldn't that be like a dream to play for Pop?
Yeah. Most people, I mean,
Kobe wanted to play for Pop. They all want to play for
But
Pop.
everybody can't play for Pop, and this guy can. And if he would be out there. It's just like, look at his face up there. That's how he looks no matter what. He go dunk on somebody, he looks like that.
That is true.
He gets
That
his
is true.
foul out the game,
I
he looks
agree.
like that. So you're right about going to a big market, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
And, you know, it would help me a lot if this afternoon he would do a big press conference, like some players would, and say, let me explain to you exactly what's going on with my quad. But he won't say a
Yeah,
word.
the dude have a triple. He scored 40 against Cavaliers, and he didn't want to talk.
No.
I mean, that's not him. He's playing for the perfect coach because his coach doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to talk. And see, San Antonio is perfect for his personality, Skip. He doesn't want the limelight. He doesn't want to be in a place like he can't have. He go to L.A. or he go to one of these big markets. That's not him. I mean, he's like.
So you think if he was to come out and say, "Hey, this is at a press conference," I think that would cause more attention in the Spurs organization because that's not how the Spurs handle things.
No, but I mean, but you could put the ball back in their court if you said, let me explain and bring your doctor up, your independent doctor with you, and explain to the media exactly what's going on here. Then it would be like, your turn, Pop.
And guess what? The Spurs are going to bring up their medical staff,
Right,
and say, "Well,
that's just going to cause too much."
But I know
tension in
what
their organization.
Isaiah Thomas would have done in this situation.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, seriously,
We know
am I
what
right?
IT would have did.
Well, first of all, Skip, he'd have been out there playing even though he injured. Like right now, what he's doing, and hogging up, putting up shots. You know that's
What you
your
mean?
guy.
That ain't my guy. No,
Why
I
is
don't think
LeBron
about it.
scared of reseeding in the
Healthy.
playoffs?
Yeah,
We'll discuss that next.